The views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily the views of ECTV News, the City of East Chicago, nor this broadcast station or website. ECTV airs public meetings as a service to the community it serves. Speakers at public meetings, broadcast, or posted by ECTV News are solely responsible for their comments. ECTV News reserves the right to edit or remove any profanity or abusive language or behavior deemed inappropriate for our viewing audience. If you have any comments or suggestions about this program, contact ECTV News at 219-391-8206.
Call to order the regular scheduled council meeting for Monday, January 13th, 2020. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
First District Councilwoman Monica Guzman.
Here.
Third District Councilman Terrence Hill.
I'm here.
Fourth District Councilwoman Stacy Winfield.
Present.
Fifth District Councilman Robert Garcia.
Present.
Sixth District Councilwoman Gilda Orange.
Present.
Councilman at Large Dwayne Ransford.
Present.
Councilman at Large Emiliano Perez.
Present.
Councilman at Large Kenneth Monroe. And Council President Lenny Francisci.
Present. Clerk Santos, for the record, Councilman Monroe is ill right now. First thing we have on the agenda is the elections of officer for president. Do I have any nominees?
Nominate Robert Garcia for president.
Yes, Mr. President. I second.
Any other nominees? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Winfield.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Ransford.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes.
Francisci.
Yes. Now we open up the nominations for vice president.
Nominate Terry Hill.
Second.
Any other nominees? Clerk Santos, roll call, please.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Hill.
Absolutely.
Winfield.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Ransford.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes.
Monroe. Garcia.
Yes.
And Francisci.
Yes. Congratulations. I just want to say thank you to my colleagues for letting me be continue to be president for the last 2 years and trusting me, so thank you.
I want to thank Lenny Francisci. He's been an excellent president leading this council. And Lenny, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Clerk, any minutes of the council meetings?
Yes, regular meeting Monday, November 25th, 2019. Regular meeting Monday, December 9th, 2019. And regular meeting Monday, December 23rd, 2019.
Is there a motion to pass these minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. President,
Yes, Stacy?
I'd like to abstain if our attorney would agree. I was actually an employee of the city at the time that these minutes were taken.
That would be appropriate action for the council.
Ms. Till?
Same here. I would like to abstain for those meetings, considering I wasn't on the council at the time.
And I also would abstain.
Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Gonzalez.
Abstain.
Franciski.
Yes.
Hill.
Abstain?
Winfield.
Abstain.
Orange.
Yes.
Ransford.
Abstain.
Perez.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Mr. Clerk, any communication from the mayor?
No, Mr. President.
Any communications from department heads?
Yes. Accounts payable warrant 010820CC, 011320CC, 011520CC, and 011520CB.
Is there a motion on the floor to pass accounts payable?
So moved, Mr. President.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Councilman Hill?
On accounts payable warrant 011320CC, we have several vendors that submit an invoice. However, I would like to know what type of services are they providing for those invoices? Like you got a mechanic, he's sending in an invoice for $500-600. I'd like to know the detail of what he actually is doing, because all we know, you can be sending an invoice for a flat tire and costing the city $500, which we know it don't take no $500 to fix a flat tire. So who can provide that information for me? When he's sending the invoice, did he give it to the clerk's office, or who did he give it to, the controller's office? That's just like another one with lawn care service. Okay, what lawn are you servicing for $1,000, $3,000-4,000? I need more detail when you provide those invoices to me. The same way we did when we was on the school board. When you provided an invoice, I questioned it if I didn't see any details of that invoice. Thank you.
Any other questions on accounts payable? Hearing no questions, roll call.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Franciski.
Yes.
Hill.
No.
Winfield.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Ransford.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes.
Garcia.
No. Clerk, any payroll warrants?
Yes, payroll warrant monthly 123119, payroll warrant biweekly 122719, payroll warrant biweekly 011020, payroll warrant miscellaneous 122019, payroll warrant miscellaneous 122719.
Is there a motion on the floor to pass these?
So moved, Mr. President.
Moved by Councilman Franciski, seconded by Councilman Hill.
Yes.
Any questions?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes?
Once again, attorney, I'm trying to get your name correctly. I need to abstain, but there's one that I don't. I'm looking at payroll warrant 123119, 122719, 122019, 122719, because I was a city employee at the time, but 011, well, I would have to abstain on that one also. This is the reason? Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions on payroll warrants? Yes, Ms. Guzman?
We all should abstain, or just because she was a city employee?
It's Councilwoman Gonzalez, it's at your discretion whether you choose to abstain based on your knowledge of the information that's in the warrants.
Any other questions on the floor? Hearing none, roll call.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Franciski.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Winfield.
I'm going to abstain on 123, 119, 122, 719, 122, 019, 122, 719, due to me being a city employee, but I will, can I vote for it? 011020 is yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Ransford,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Next on agenda, we got the 2020 employee contract for Council Attorney Buscemi. If you could step to the podium, please.
Mr. President.
Can you discuss your contract, please?
Yes, this is the form employment contract for services to the City Council for the year 2020, January 1st, 2020 through December 31, 2020. And the duties are recited in Section 1. Compensation is recited in Section 2. And the contract provides in Section 5 that this contract may be terminated by either party at any time. I serve at your pleasure and at your discretion, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if council members have them.
Yes, I have a question. In the event that I need some information from you, would you charge me or charge the council the information that I'm requesting from you, other than being at the council meeting?
Oftentimes, council members request certain information from the attorney and the legal advisor, and that's simply charged to this particular contract. You're doing that in your capacity, Councilman, as a public official of the city, so there'd absolutely be no charge to you individually.
Well, I'm talking about no charge to the council. Everything should be within that contract.
Yes,
Okay,
that's correct.
thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing no questions, is there a motion to pass Attorney Buscemi's contract?
I make a motion to pass.
Is there a motion? Is there a second? Second. Any questions? Roll call?
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Franciski,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Ransford,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Next is the 2020 employment contract from financial advisor Sender & Sender. Steve?
Good evening, Council. Steve Dalton,
Good evening.
financial advisor. Our firm has worked with you for roughly 10 years, and you have in front of you a contract that looks exactly the same as the last 6 years. I didn't write it, an attorney did, so I won't give you the specific subsections that Mr. Buscemi gave you on his, but it's the same one we've had for the last 6 years, and it's dated 2020, January 1st through the end of the year as opposed to 2019. And in answer to your question that you just asked, Mr. Buscemi, the same applies. Any call or email we get from a council member in their official capacity is billed through this specific contract, not separately.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing no questions, is there a motion on the floor to pass?
So moved.
First, is there a second?
A second.
Any questions? Hearing no questions, roll call?
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Franciski,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Ransford,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Any committee reports? There are no committee reports. The next thing on the agenda is board reports, board appointments. Is there any motion for the board reports or board appointments?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we table the board appointments to allow the new council members an opportunity to look at the names, and they may have questions regarding what these boards do, anything like that, just at the next meeting, if that would be okay. So I make a motion that we table it.
There's a motion on the floor. Need a second?
Second.
A second. Any questions on this motion to table the board appointments?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
If we can be provided the description of the boards that we are approving, we have the resumes, which was outstanding, but we would like a description, at least I would, of the board.
Councilwoman Winfield, what I'd like to do is after this meeting, to set up a meeting for all the new councils, that the director for redevelopment and also somebody to represent the urban enterprise zone to come to the meeting and explain to you any information they have to provide to you guys.
Thank you.
Any question on the matter, on the board appointments? Board, tabling the boards? Hearing no questions, roll call.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Franciski,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Orange,
Yes.
Rexford,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Clerk Santos, any ordinance on first reading?
No,
Any ordinance on second reading?
no, Mr. President.
Any ordinance on third reading?
Nope.
Any resolution?
No.
Old business.
Ordinance 19-0029, sponsored Councilmember Emiliano Perez, Richard Medina, Robert Garcia, Myrna Maldonado, and Kenneth Monroe. An ordinance to amend the East Chicago Municipal Code to require a fire department work schedule of 24 hours on duty and 48 hours off duty for fire suppression personnel.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion, Mr. President, that we take a vote to override the pocket veto that has been taken at the administrative side. The 10-day period has passed, and it has not been signed. Therefore, this council has an opportunity to override that veto. So I make a motion that we take a veto override vote this evening.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a first and a second. Any questions on the matter? Councilwoman Orange?
I see Carla Morgan in the audience, and I would like to ask her a couple of questions.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to the new council members.
Thank you.
So, Attorney Morgan, is this case still in the court?
Yes, the city filed for judicial determination under Indiana Code 36 I believe it's 8-4-4-4. I'm going to give you the exact site. I'm sorry, that's 36-4-4-5, uncertainty as to do a dispute and the nature of powers or duties. And so we filed that about a month ago. We're asking under that statute that a three-judge panel decide what exactly are the powers of this legislative body versus what are the executive powers in a second-class city. And we're still waiting for the court to make that determination. Did you have other questions about the nature of powers
Well,
in
I would
this
like
ordinance?
to know if indeed, like, if this situation, if it passes tonight, and then it goes back to 24, and then if just for instance, you guys win in court, it automatically goes back to the 8 hours?
No, that's not exactly what would happen. If this ordinance passes tonight, it's void because the state legislature has clearly stated in Indiana Code 36-4-4-2 that the powers of a city are divided between the executive and the legislative branches of government. The power belonging to one branch of a city's government may not be exercised by another branch. Then it outlines what the powers of the executive are, what the powers of the legislative body are, but more specifically, Indiana Code gets into who has power over the police department, who has power over the fire department. And Indiana Code 36-8-3-2 explicitly gives the power to administer the police and fire departments to the Board of Public Safety. And then further, under Indiana Code 36-8-3-3G, states that the police chief has exclusive control of the police department and the fire chief has exclusive control of the fire department, subject to the rules and orders of the safety board. And then goes on to talk about in time of emergency, the police chief and the fire chief are, for the time being, subordinate to the city executive and shall obey the city executive's orders and directions, notwithstanding any law or rule to the contrary. So it's very clear under laws passed by the state legislature and the case law that this board is limited to, you are the fiscal body of the city. So you have control over fiscal matters, and you can pass ordinances. But it's for the city executive in a second-class city to execute anything has this an executive function, and specifically when it comes to police and fire, the state law is more specific, that the fire chief has control over the operation of the department. They set the hours and rules for work, subject to what the rules that are set by Fire Civil Service for discipline and other things. But this board does not have power to direct any executive function over any department, but it certainly is explicitly prohibited under state law from giving orders or anything that appears to be an order to the fire chief or the police chief about running the department, day-to-day functions, or the power to direct staff, how staff works, shifts for staff, exactly. So, no, if this board, if this council passes the contemplated ordinance tonight, it would have no effect because the city not only believes that this council doesn't have the power, so it'd be the same as me coming to your house and telling your children what to do. I don't have any power to do that. And I'm not comparing any of our departments, especially not our public safety, to children. I'm just saying it's an example of exercising a power that I don't have. But if this council took that action, then the mayor, in order to clear up any possible confusion or create chaos that might be created by passing the ordinance, we feel we have no choice other than to declare an emergency with regard to staffing of the fire department and order that the fire chief continue the current schedule and ensure that the department is properly staffed until and unless a court of competent jurisdiction issues an order on the matter or a ruling is issued pursuant to Indiana Code 36-4-4-5. So again, because this council lacks the power to do what that ordinance contemplates it doing, if it continues on, it would have the same effect as me ordering you what to do when it comes to your home or anything else that I don't have the power to do. If you lack the power, try to exercise it, it's of no effect. And again, it's been over a month since we filed that. As for the determination, we haven't gotten, nothing's been filed by the council in response. So we just await a judge's determination on the matter. But again, the status quo will be maintained until we get an order from a court.
Any other questions?
I know before we were going to have an executive session to find out more matters about what was going on. So we never had that executive session to be able to discuss this.
That's correct.
Okay, so are we going to have?
Yes, we are. Any other questions? Councilman
Mr.
Perez?
Buscemi, you heard Ms. Morgan's position. Would you like to add anything to that? I know we don't want to try it here tonight, but anything you can add would be
That's
helpful.
correct, Councilman. Members of the council, it's not appropriate to try the case here before your body, before the city council, the legislative body. Suffice to say that, all due respect to Attorney Morgan, I disagree with the opinion that she just rendered. I believe that the city council does have the legal authority to enact this ordinance to set the work schedule for fire suppression personnel within the city of East Chicago. Additionally, in addition to having the opinion that you have the authority to pass such an ordinance if you wish to do so, I'm also of the opinion that if you pass the ordinance by overriding the mayor's veto this evening, should you choose to do that, that the ordinance will not be void, it will be in effect, and it will be a law of the city. Other than that, it's not appropriate for me as your attorney to discuss any other details of the lawsuit.
So we've cited the state law, we've cited case law. There is no case law to support Attorney Buscemi's position, all due respect. So,
Any other questions? Ms. Guzman?
This is just your interpretation.
no, it's not. There's case law that supports this. If you've read the complaint or studied at all in this area, you will see, and there also are seminars that are given by State Board of Accounts, other bodies that inform new council members and existing council members what your powers are and are not. So it's not simply my opinion, it's more than that.
It's not just the opinion, then why file a lawsuit?
No, I don't follow that. If it's not merely an opinion, why follow a lawsuit?
I mean, if it's not just your interpretation of the law, then why file the lawsuit? Why, and my other question is, how long is this gonna, if it's been a month, how long is it gonna take?
So, clearly we have the executive branch is of one belief about how Indiana law works and has researched it, has looked up case law, has found support for it, for their position, and this council's taken a different track. So that Indiana Code 36-4-4-5 says that when a dispute exists between the powers of various branches of government, the proper thing to do is seek a judicial determination. And then a court, a Lake County court, a panel of judges will make a determination to decide where that line is between the powers of the council in this case and the power of the mayor. So we thought that the proper thing to do was, your attorney had previously expressed that he felt it was just our opinion, but again, I've supported it by case law and cites to the law. And so you continue down that course. So the proper thing to do was to get a panel of judges under that specific law that was designed to address issues just like this, situations just like this, to ask them to make a determination. When you file a lawsuit, normally the other side has 20 days to file their response. More than 20 days has passed since it was initially filed. No response was filed. I don't know why no extension was requested either. Not sure why. But that's how lawsuits proceed, is you file a complaint, the other side files their response, then the judge will make a decision whether he's going to set a hearing on it, he's going to allow discovery on it, each side files additional motions on it. So how long will it take? I don't know. I don't know how long it'll take before this council responds to the complaint, but it is active. It's before Judge Parent. He's going to appoint the panel in court, so he'll proceed whether this council ever responds to that complaint or not. And that's just how things work under the law that governs disputes like this. But again, the way the law works as far as division of powers, you don't have to take my word for it. There's plenty of case law out there to support what I'm saying. And the state of Indiana makes it rather easy for council members to access that kind of information on your own. There are guidebooks and guidelines and all that explain what are your powers and where's that line where your powers start and end.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes, Mr.
Yes, Attorney Morgan, you said this has been a month ago. When was the last time that you communicated with the court staff or anybody in the judge's office?
Well, we're waiting for them to appoint the panel. But again, they're waiting for your response. So.
Mr.
Do we know when we need to respond?
And if I may,
Mr. President,
it's comment. If I,
away from the question on the motion, and now we're talking.
it's
There's a question on the motion. We're happy to entertain those, but now we're getting into the court.
and my answer to Mr. Hill was incomplete. It's normal for the court to get the opposing counsel on the phone and set hearing dates so that things can be heard. Everybody gets to look at their calendar and say, I'm available such and such date for this. And they'll tell you when responses, other than your initial response, they'll tell you when other responses or motions or whatever are due.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Hill, it was done during the holiday season, so I'm pretty sure the court was not going to entertain this. It was not an emergency, but after the holidays, if they want to hear it.
If I may, if you don't file for request an extension, that 20 days passes regardless of if it's holidays or not. So your response is late.
Any other questions from this council? Any other questions? Well, I got a comment. Any ordinance or any resolution that comes from this council overrides anything from that safety board does. So that was incorrect. I don't see no emergency that should be declared after this. You know, we have some hardworking men and women running the fire department, but there's no emergency to do it. To say this council lacks the power, that's misinformation. This council has allowed power and to do things, and it is in the law. Hearing no other questions, roll call.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Franciski,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Orange,
No.
Ransford,
Yes.
Perez,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Passes. Clerk Santos, next resolution.
Resolution 19-0015, sponsored Councilwoman Gilda Orange, a resolution of the City of East Chicago, Indiana Common Council approving a renewal period of the East Chicago Enterprise Zone for 1 year from the current sunset date of December 31st, 2019, as amended.
Is there a motion to override the veto?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
A second. Any questions on the ordinance? Councilwoman Orange?
Okay, I don't know if you received this letter because it was too many. So I don't know. I don't think you had. This is from Attorney Harris. And, Ms. Buscemi, you could address it. The letter. What do you want me to? Yeah, just gave it to the, president.
Councilwoman Orange, specifically, what is your question pertaining to the correspondence from Attorney Harris?
Okay, according to Attorney Harris, that the date has passed as of December 31st. And so, because they never received a resolution signed by December 31st, and that was the date the state that declared that that it had to be turned in. And so, I'm just asking you to interpret what his letter said.
I see. That being the point that is made in the letter, it's my opinion, members of the council, that the resolution was approved during the year 2019, and the action is attributed to the calendar year 2019. And if you would choose to override the mayor's veto on this resolution, it's my opinion that the resolution would be effective for the 1 year period that is stated in the resolution.
And amendments.
Yes, as amended. That's right. These votes, the vote that you just took on ordinance, thank you, Mr. President, ordinance 19-29 related to the firefighters' work schedule, that is pertaining to ordinance 19-29 as amended on December 23rd. And the override vote, should you take it tonight, pertains to resolution 19-15 as amended, the amended version. And that the amended version, for the benefit of the new members of the council, extends the enterprise zone board for a period of 1 year.
And also, public access laws of the state of Indiana.
That is correct. That's also a provision of the amendment.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that one.
To follow the Indiana public access law, that's another insert in there.
Okay.
We ask them to abide by the Indiana access law, public access law. Any other questions? Any no other questions, roll call?
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Franciski,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Orange,
I'm going to abstain.
Ransford,
I will be abstaining as well.
Perez,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Pass. New business, any new business? Council? Not hearing from the,
Mr. President.
Mr. Perez?
Mr. Buscemi,
Yes.
I'd like a letter sent to the fire chief indicating that this council expects him to act on this ordinance that we just passed this evening.
Ordinance 19-29.
-29, correct, and highlighting the fact, unless he, he may have missed it, that it was amended to declare it an emergency, and we want these guys back on shift as quickly as possible.
Any other new business? Mr. Buscemi, can you get the podium, please?
Mr. President.
I heard you was talking to some of the new members of reference to training. Can you explain that so we can all hear
Yes.
it?
The Indiana Association of Cities and Towns, every 4 years after the municipal elections, such as the one that was held in November, offers a good training session for newly elected city and town officials, including city council members. And I've given each of the 4 council members copies of the agenda, the itinerary, and the registration information and the contact information. The different sessions that are held at those training sessions are very helpful for newly elected city council members, and if you wish to participate in that training, the sessions are going to be held next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I've highlighted particularly some useful panel discussions and sessions that are held on Wednesday and Thursday of next week, should you be interested in attending, and Ms. Ochoa can assist you with the registration information with respect to that training.
Mr. Buscemi, what's the location?
Location is in Indianapolis at, I'm not sure the specific hotel that's listed, but Westin Hotel. All right.
Mr. Steve Don? Does the State Board of Accounts offer any other training also for any new members?
State Board of Accounts offers quite a bit of training, and they've been trying to move a lot of that training, Mr. President, to the internet through YouTube. I think I've sent some of you from the previous council some of those links, and I'd be happy to send those back out to everyone. The State Board of Accounts is very focused on internal controls, very focused on policies and procedures. You may find it dry at times, but it's valuable to know what procedures we're supposed to be following as a city.
Would you be able to offer some of that training pertaining to that?
I'd be happy to work with any council member individually or in a group that doesn't surpass the number allowed to meet together.
I think we have 4 and 4 can meet.
Be happy to.
Thank you. And the reason I say that, I think the new members they could better serve the community when they're better informed, and it'd be the best thing. Any other new business?
The views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily the views of ECTV News, the City of East Chicago, nor this broadcast station or website. ECTV airs public meetings as a service to the community it serves. Speakers at public meetings, broadcast, or posted by ECTV News are solely responsible for their comments. ECTV News reserves the right to edit or remove any profanity or abusive language or behavior deemed inappropriate for our viewing audience. If you have any comments or suggestions about this program, contact ECTV News at 219-391-8206.
Public expression. Public expression to be 2 minutes. Three minutes. All right, Eddie Rivera.
Excuse me, Mr. President.
Yes.
Who's keeping time?
I'll keep it under 3. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no, I'm just saying. On the school board, I was in charge of the time. Now, very accurate, too.
Mr. Rivera.
Good evening, everybody. Congratulations to all the new board members.
Thank you.
I do have a few things to say, so I'm going to try and speak quick so I can get it all out. Most importantly, thank you for passing this. Obviously, we got 1 vote against, which we knew was coming. The hypocrisy of it is insane. We've been attacked for having part-time jobs by somebody who's sitting here at their part-time job. So be it. We've been attacked because some of our members don't live in the city. Chief of Staff doesn't. Never heard them once speak about her. Your lawyer doesn't. Never heard you speak about that. Just putting it out there. As far as that ordinance, that has passed. I also wanted to talk about the fact that their lawyer said that she didn't feel it was your right. Yet with him creating that schedule, I'd like you guys to take a look back at another ordinance, which I actually have the number here. I wish I would have brought it up on my phone before I started speaking, that he's actually violating by putting this schedule out there and by changing our manning. So if we take a look at, obviously not today, I have ordinance number 15-0028 that actually specifies the maximum number of captains, district chiefs, assistant chiefs, chauffeurs, and firefighters we're allowed to have on staff. By him creating this fourth schedule and changing our manning around, he's increased that number of chauffeurs we're allowed to have. So he's violating that ordinance. By him changing this, he's increased the number of captains we have on staff. So he's violating that ordinance. So for them to think that he can do this, and they're going to say that you guys don't have the right to create an ordinance when he's already violating one, is actually comical. Other than that, I'm going to let my president speak on a few other things of the hypocrisy that our chief has brought about. And just for the general public to know, because all of us on the fire department already know, it's very easy for her to vote no against this, because although her brother's a firefighter, he wasn't affected by the schedule change. So I'm sure it wouldn't have been a big deal for her to keep us on this schedule, because he was the one person in the Bureau whose schedule didn't change when all of this changed. So nobody's suffering there on that side. But I appreciate the time. Thank you, guys.
30 seconds. Dave Mata.
Well, that's going to be hard to follow, but good evening, Council. Dave Mata, President, Local 365. Just piggyback on what Eddie just said, congratulations to our new council coming in. Look forward to a good 4 years. We need some positives to start happening for public safety, and we look forward to having that happen. Thank you for voting for the right thing. Thank you to our remaining councilmen, Councilman Perez and Garcia, Francisci. Thank you for voting in our favor. Thank you for seeing the importance of public safety and how dangerous this schedule is, and having that rig and everything out of service. Thank you for seeing that. Congratulations, Council President Garcia. Congratulations on that, and congratulations to Mr. Hill, Vice President. We look forward to working with you guys these next 4 years. It's going to be interesting. I know we came into a really tough time right now, but it's going to get better. Once we get past this, we're going to start working on some positive things for public safety and for our residents, and get out of this negative light. We look forward to it, and I know we're going to make that happen. So with that being said, just wanted to bring up a couple things while we got the opportunity. I know we can't speak on much, or you guys can't speak on much because of the litigation stuff, but we can. So, like we said, this schedule, we already knew was going to cost more money. You know, they talked about efficiency, they talked about cost savings. Well, just in 30 days from December 7th to January 6th, we have a total of 724.5 overtime hours worked. Doing the simple math, because we just got the hourly pay scale breakdown 2 days ago, because we didn't have no idea how to work these numbers. Nobody was giving us answers. Just using the lowest pay rate, hourly pay rate of a base master firefighter of $25.17. At those 724 hours, that's $18,235 in 30 days. And that's the lowest rate. That's not doing the math for captains who've worked overtime at their pay rate, chauffeurs who worked overtime at their pay rate, district chiefs, assistant chiefs at their pay rate. So, and that does not include move-up pay, which has increased because the hourly rate increased. So that's just the base number at $25.17 per hour.
30 seconds.
And another thing real quick, since we're talking about staffing, our staffing levels being low, there was a council meeting in year 2000. We had a firefighter come up here who was arguing about the staffing levels, that 85 firefighters were not enough to protect the city. Said this is life risk taking. Money was allocated and kept, not used for the department. Give back the money to get equipment and staffing. They were arguing about 85 firefighters not being enough to protect the city. We're at 68. That individual is Anthony Copeland. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Morgan.
Hello again. Well, I'm just here to inform you of the mayor's intent to sign an executive order in light of the emergency and the chaos that was just created
Point of order.
by your actions.
Point of order. Mr. Buscemi, is that correct to inform us in the council meeting reference this instead
This is
of-
public comment.
Mr. President, it's a form of public expression, and I think the council should hear, under the same limitations with respect to the other speakers, what council has to say.
Ms. Hunter, I did get a line and I submitted.
Point of order. Point of order. Ms. Morgan, go.
Do my
continue.
3 minutes start again now or no?
Hold on. Let me reset it for you. Now.
Okay, thank you. In order to protect the health and safety of the residents of the city and ensure the safety of the public, and to ensure that the East Chicago Fire Department is properly staffed in case of fire or other public emergency, the mayor is invoking the power to declare an emergency granted to the executive of a second-class city by Indiana Code 36-8-3-3G. An emergency was created, unfortunately, when the East Chicago Common Council overrode the mayor's veto and passed Ordinance 19-0029. It creates chaos and uncertainty with regard to staffing. As a result, the mayor is going to declare an emergency due to the council's action and their improper attempt to exceed its power and illegitimately exercise powers explicitly granted by the Indiana State Legislature to the chief of the fire department and the mayor as executive of the city. The mayor intends to invoke the powers of the executive outlined in the state law just read, 36-8-3-3G, that during emergencies, he has the power to order the chief of the East Chicago Fire Department to ensure that the fire department continues to be properly staffed and to continue the current shift schedules which were implemented in late 2019. He also intends to order that the chief of the fire department ensure proper staffing of the department through the use of overtime or other means, including but not limited to the powers granted to the chief during an emergency as outlined in Indiana Code 36-8-4-9B. His order, when he issues it, will continue in effect until further notice or until the court issues an order on the matter or rulings issued pursuant to the complaint filed under Indiana Code 36-4-4-5. And I'd also like to make a small comment about the increased overtime hours in the last 30 days. There were a drastically increased number of call-offs in the last 30 days, so that overtime number is a direct result of firemen using the off time that they've had. They're entitled to use it by right. They're granted sick time and other time off. So there's been a drastic increase. Many members, more than in recent memory, use 100% of their off time. So that triggers overtime on the other side. So when you're away from work, someone else is making time and a half. And so that's the reason that number is that high, not because of the schedule change, but because of the call-offs. Thank you.
Attorney Morgan, do you have a copy of that letter to give to our attorney?
If he signs the order, you'll get one tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Catherine Florence.
Thomas.
This is Thomas. I'm sorry.
First of all, congratulations to all the new members up here. I'm glad to see all of you. Some of you I've known for years, friends to some. But I want to tell you guys something, that I'm hoping that this coming year that you guys won't be afraid to stop your co-councilmen from walking into a train. I believe that everybody should be entitled to their opinion. You guys should come to solutions. It shouldn't be about me. It should be about the citizen, the people who elect and put you there. And I want the councilmen, I see what you're doing with the firemen and everything, and you have your right to do that. But I want to see you take a step in helping the people that live here. I want to see you help the people who when that lead crisis was here. I didn't see this big fight. I didn't see this big fight when Marktown was going under. I didn't see this big fight with New Edition. I mean, we got to fight for everybody. We don't just pick up an agenda of what we want to fight for and make ourselves look like we grand slam this. It's not all about just salaries. It's not all about work hours. It's about this city here. And this city got to grow. People got to get jobs. People got to get education. There are a lot of us seniors that live here that these old houses are falling apart. Markstown is like a ghost town. New addition. So you got to, Calumet, I mean, you got to think of everything. I mean, yeah, a lot of us don't live here in this city. A lot of us laugh at us who work here, and they work here, but they don't live here. And they look at us, but we put out more money. East Chicago has more money coming into their city than any other city, practically in Lake County. So why are we fighting the way we fighting, and why are we not looking out for the constituents that put us in these positions? I have a councilman who is Robert Garcia. I got a council person at large, Rancifer, Perez, and Monroe. Those council people at large supposed to work with each one of you guys in your district. I never went to a meeting with Robert Garcia in my district asked me what do you think we need. I never seen any of you come and sit down and talk with the people. It's time for you to start talking to people. And it's time for you to stop being silent when people come up here for public comments.
30 seconds.
I think sometimes y'all need to vote and just at least respond to let us know that you're hearing what we're talking about. Thank you. And I'm waiting for you, Mr. Garcia, to come and call a meeting with us so we can let you know what we need. Because these eyes are watching everybody, and other people are concerned. When I come up here and talk, it's not just Catherine talking. It's people that call and talk to me.
3 minutes.
Okay? Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kat.
I'll save the best for last, Sherry Hunter.
Thank you, Sherry. Do your thing.
Hi, my name is Sherry Hunter. I'm from Calumet, born and raised. And I'm here tonight to let you know about what's going on in my neighborhood. We have you guys mayor, not mine, yours. He is trying to get rid of the 2 black historical communities in Chicago. That's New Addition and Calumet. He does nothing for us. He's getting ready to tear down some homes on Alexander. Okay, on Alexander, the 49th block and the 48th block. But let me tell you something you might not know. He has property on each one of those blocks, empty lots in his name. He has those. I know that because I wrote down to downstate and got the information. Okay? Now, he promised these people when he put them out, he was going to rebuild and bring them back. Now he's getting ready to put a plant there. We don't know if it's a chemical or whatever. Now these people can't come back. Now we're going to be surrounded in the middle. This plant is going to be in the middle of our community. Another, probably a chemical plant. And he promised he was going to put homes there, build there, clean that area to a residential area where people can come back there. Now he's not going to do it. I never trusted him in the first place. He don't care nothing about Calumet. The money, moving forward program, I was at Raleigh Park when the governor came and signed off on it. He said this money is only to be used in the hardest hit area of East Chicago, and that's the Calumet, zones 1 and 2. He took our money and rebuilt the harbor with it. Okay? Nobody does anything to this man. It's like you guys are afraid of him. To me, he means nothing. He's a punk.
Point of order. Any more public expression? There a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Franciski.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Winfield.
Yes.
Orange. Ransford.
Yes.
Perez.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes. Adjourned.
President.